You pulled $12,000 out of your retirement account. Just $12,000. So, why does the IRS end up taxing you on something closer to $21,000? That's not a mistake on your tax form. It's not bad timing either. It comes down to a single decision almost nobody warns you about before retirement: the order you switch your income sources on. You could do everything right. Fund your 401k for 30 years. Pay off your mortgage early. Never carry a credit card balance. And you can still fall into this exact trap because you flipped the wrong switch first. Here's the part nobody tells you at the retirement party. Most retirees are juggling 2 or 3 income sources at once: a retirement account, Social Security, maybe a pension. They all land in the same checking account. They feel identical, but the IRS does not treat them the same. Not even close. One of them, you fully control. One of them, you can delay or accelerate. And one of them just turns on whether your tax return is ready for it or not. Get the order wrong, and these 3 sources start fighting each other on your tax return. That's where careful, disciplined savers get burned, not because they didn't save enough, but because nobody ever explained that sequence matters more than the balance. Stay with me. Once you see the 3 traps hiding inside this system, the smarter order becomes almost obvious. Meet Patricia Delgado. She's 64, spent 31 years as a pharmacist outside Tucson, Arizona, and retired last spring with about $450,000 in her traditional 401k, a modest brokerage account, and a house she owns outright. Patricia did what felt responsible. She started Social Security the day she qualified, because a guaranteed check felt safer than waiting. She left her 401k untouched because someone once told her not to touch it early. Taxes, she figured she'd deal with later. That single choice quietly triggered 3 separate tax traps. Trap number 1 is the big one. Some planners call it the Social Security tax torpedo. Here's the mechanism. The IRS looks at something called your combined income, your adjusted gross income, plus any tax-exempt interest, plus half of whatever Social Security pays you. Cross certain lines with that number, and more of your Social Security becomes taxable. For single filers like Patricia, once combined income passes $25,000, up to half her benefit can be taxed. Cross $34,000, and up to 85% of it becomes taxable. Married couples face similar lines at $32,000 and $44,000. Here's the detail that should genuinely bother you. Those thresholds were written into law back in 1983. They have never once been adjusted for inflation. Groceries went up, gas went up, property taxes went up. Those lines never moved. So, picture Patricia sitting at $33,000 of combined income. Her car needs a new transmission, so she pulls an extra $1,500 from her 401k. That $1,500 pushes her past the 85% threshold. Suddenly, more than $7,000 of her Social Security benefit becomes taxable, that it wasn't before. She withdrew $1,500. The IRS ended up taxing her on close to $8,500. In her bracket, that transmission repair cost her several hundred extra dollars in tax she never planned for. And she's far from alone. More than half of retirees today pay some tax on their Social Security benefit. Now, here's trap number 2. And this one is sneaky, because it stays hidden for 2 full years before it shows up on a bill. It's called IRMAA, the Income-Related Monthly Adjustment Amount for Medicare. If your income runs too high, your Medicare premium goes up. But IRMAA doesn't look at this year's income. It looks back 2 years. Your Medicare premium in 2026 is based on what you reported back in 2024. For 2026, the first threshold sits at $109,000 for a single filer and $218,000 for a married couple filing jointly. Cross that line by even $1, and you're charged the higher premium for the entire year. No partial credit. For a couple, that can add up to more than $2,000 a year in extra Medicare costs. It's a delayed punch. You make the decision today, and the bill arrives 2 years later, after you've completely forgotten what caused it. There's a quieter third trap too, mostly for higher earners. It's the net investment income tax. Pull too much income in 1 year, and an extra 3.8% can land on top of everything else once you cross $200,000 for singles or $250,000 for couples. Most retirees never trip this one, but it proves the same point. One oversized withdrawal can wake up taxes you didn't even know were sleeping. So, how does $12,000 turn into $21,000? The withdrawal itself isn't taxed at some brutal rate. It's that the withdrawal drags a chunk of Social Security onto the return right alongside it. $12,000 from the account, plus roughly $9,000 of newly taxable Social Security. That's your $21,000, taxed on paper, even though it never doubled up in her checking account. This is for education only, not personalized tax or financial advice. Everyone's numbers are different, so talk with a qualified planner before making moves like these. Here's the good news. The smart order is almost the exact opposite of what feels safe. Spend your most flexible money first. Delay Social Security as long as you reasonably can. Treat any pension as the fixed floor you build the rest of your plan around. In practice, that means the years right after you retire, before Social Security turns on, you live off cash, taxable savings, and carefully sized 401k withdrawals. Why does this work? Because every dollar you pull before Social Security starts cannot trigger the torpedo. There's nothing sitting there for it to drag along. Those early years are valuable for a second reason too. With your income temporarily lower, you can convert money from a traditional IRA into a Roth IRA, paying the tax now at a lower rate, before the traps are fully armed. That Roth money then grows tax-free. When you eventually pull it out, it's invisible to all three traps. It doesn't count toward combined income, and it doesn't trigger IRMAA. Think of it as two phases. Phase 1 runs from retirement to around age 70, lower income, more control, prime time for Roth conversions. Phase 2 starts at 70, when you claim Social Security at its highest value and live on a blend of Social Security, a now smaller traditional account, and tax-free Roth withdrawals. Because you trimmed the traditional side early, your required withdrawals later stay modest instead of dragging you straight back into the traps. Take Deshaun Carter, a retired HVAC technician from Charlotte, North Carolina. His pension doesn't start until 65. So, for 3 years, he lives off savings and fills up his lower tax bracket with Roth conversions. At 65, his pension turns on, so he eases off the conversions to stay clear of the IRMAA line. At 70, he claims Social Security at its richest number. His traditional account is lean, his required withdrawals are gentle, and he tops off spending with tax-free Roth money. Deshaun didn't earn more than his neighbors. He just claimed things in a smarter order. One more piece of good news for 2026. There's a new senior deduction, up to $6,000 per person, $12,000 for a qualifying couple, for people 65 and older, running through 2028. It doesn't erase these traps, but it buys a little breathing room while you plan. This isn't one size fits all. If your health isn't great, if your savings are thin, if you need the income today, or if you're widowed and the benefit math has changed, claiming Social Security earlier might genuinely be the right call. There's nothing wrong with that. The point was never, always wait. The point is to be intentional, because the wrong order can quietly cost you thousands of dollars you never had to lose. And don't let taxes run your whole life either. Build the retirement you actually want first. Then optimize the taxes around it. Here's a simple checklist. Do you have a pension? It fills your taxable floor early, so watch those IRMAA lines closely. Can you cover your spending without Social Security right away? If so, delaying becomes a real option worth exploring. Are you sitting near a tax bracket edge or an IRMAA threshold? Then be careful about any income spike, even a small one. Patricia, by the way, eventually sat down with a fee-only planner, adjusted her withdrawal order, and started converting a modest amount to Roth each year while her income was still low. It didn't undo the past. but it changed her next 20 years. The right order was never about squeezing every last dollar out of one account. It's about paying the least tax across your entire retirement, so you keep more of what you spent decades building. If this changed how you think about your own retirement paychecks, go find your real combined income number this week. It's the one number that decides whether you keep your money or hand it over by accident. Want to understand how money really works? Subscribe to Money IQ Pro for simple, honest videos about money, retirement, and financial freedom.